All right. Everybody knows the other man on the other side. I got Loai, the Savage Bull, Abushaar, making his return to the Rough Cage August 26th for Rough 55. And what I'm assuming is the main event. I haven't been notified of anything official, but I'm pretty much treating it as such. Given the crowd you pull, the fights you put on, and really you're turning into the face of this organization, and I couldn't be happier because I'm a huge fan. I like the way you fight. I like the way you carry yourself inside and outside of the cage, and I'm excited to have you back. What have you been up to, my man?
Man, just training, honestly. After that last fight, it was Ramadan happened, right? So I took that little Ramadan break. But this time, honestly, this was probably my most favorite Ramadan that I've had in a very long time, in the sense that I didn't feel weak at all while I was fasting. That entire 30-day period, I still felt strong. I was still lifting with EK. I was still going to the gym. I was still working out. So I felt very strong and very good that Ramadan. I was very happy with the outcome of me, when I came out that fasting period. Yeah, but mostly been training. I honestly just had the plan of just focusing on all my skills. That's really what I really wanted, was just take a very long break and period of just strictly training. That's it. That's the only thing I was doing. And then, that itch comes in, and then I'm just like, man, I gotta get back in the cage, right? I was projecting I'd fight again at the end of this year, way November, December. But July came around. My manager shot me a text. He says, "Hey, do you want to fight International Fight Week?" I'm like, I can't miss that opportunity. Yes, let's do it. And then it never really went through. And then he goes, I can get you on August and then rough card on August 26th. I'm like, man, let's just do it. Let's just fight. I love fighting. I love this game. I love being in there. I love the crowd. I love the feeling and the growth that I'm making. So it's hard for me not to step into the cage, but at the same time, my true love just comes with just learning. Being able to hone my skills, expand them. I've started training at Element Jiu-Jitsu with Shane and now Oscar de los Santos, I think is his last name. So I've been doing with him lots of jiu-jitsu, phenomenal black belt in jiu-jitsu. Absolutely amazing. He's been just teaching me everything that I need to know when it comes to jiu-jitsu. Been doing that. The entire gym, man, is just no ego, and everyone's just so amazing. It's like just going to that place. And the craziest thing, man, is it's right next to my house, literally 3-minute walking from me. I didn't even know this. I've been living here for 3 years, and I didn't know it was 3 minutes away from me. And now I started going there for the last 2-3 months now, and I've just fallen in love with it, man. Even though waking up at 6 a.m. in the morning to do jiu-jitsu, it fucking sucks. But when I see those guys, man, it's always worth it.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I've spoken to a lot of your coaching staff especially during Ramadan, and those guys couldn't keep you away. Okay, they were telling me that this kid keeps hitting me up. He's wanting to train, and the dude's fasting. I don't understand. This kid's an animal. You know what I mean? So I can speak to this stretch of growth that you've been having, because the coaches are telling me every time I'm talking to them, they're telling me, yeah, this kid he doesn't stop. He doesn't have an off switch. He just goes. And, he doesn't have anything to eat all day, and he's over there lifting heavy, running, doing this, doing that. I mean, literally, that's not a joke. That's what your coaching staff is telling me. You know what I mean? So the fact that you're able to keep up that output, okay, and, there's people that don't know, and there's people that do know. And trust me, your coaches know. So the fact that you're able to keep up that output in a period of time where you're not really, you're fasting, you know what I mean? You're not really eating at the times you should be for, a regular person outside of those, religious time frames. But you're still able to keep it up, and that's ridiculous. Let's just start there. That's absolutely ridiculous that when I'm checking in, hey man, how's Loai doing? Oh, geez, he doesn't stop. He does not stop. So I really, really hope that, and I'm pretty sure he is, because I just had him on the show not too long ago. But I really hope that he is putting in the work that he says he's putting in, because he's got a fight on his hands.
Yeah, no, honestly, I've seen one video of one of his fights. I think it's the only one that's online, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited for this fight. Like this is gonna be a fun one. Like he looks like he brings it. He looks like he's down to just get after it and fight. And you know that's how I like to fight. I want to see a fight. I want to get. I shouldn't say I want to get hit, but there's nothing. For some reason, I enjoy the after effect of me after I get hit. Like I get hit and I don't smile, but what goes through my mind is like, all right, motherfucker, let's get down and let's see who's the real king of this fucking cage. Like I like the competition. I like the adversity. I like the thought of two individuals trying to overpower the other one, and to see who comes up on top, man. It's exciting to me, man, and it's I don't know how my mind is shaped to think that way, but for some reason I just don't feel any type of fear or like I'm scared in any sense when it comes to those moments. Yeah, there's always little nerves here and there, but no fear. No fear.
Well, I think that is a good thing. You kind of got to have that mentality, right? You got to have that mentality, because there are guys that go in there scared. You know what I mean? And that's perfectly fine, because you're going into the unknown. So that's totally okay to feel that way. The nerves, definitely, and the being scared, I think a healthy amount of scare, right? Which I would amount to nerves, because yeah, you could go in there and the guy could get in a good punch, you know, in the first shit. I just watched a 1 second KO, you know what I mean? So it could happen, you know what I mean? You never know. And possibly being on the other side of that is what is the thing that we're always thinking about when we go in there.
No,
But you know what I mean? I don't think that you have to worry about that as much as the rest of the division. You know what I mean? Because you're a well-rounded individual, and then your physical gifts. You know what I mean? You're tall, you're long, you really know how to use your range. These are things that somebody this young in their career typically don't develop so quickly. What do you attribute that to?
just constant hindering of my coaches. It doesn't matter. Honestly, I love it. It's a type of it's a really old school way of teaching people. But you know, as I was growing up, you know, like in a majority of my martial arts, you know, even wrestling and everything like that, it's there's always like, yes, you did a good job, but keep your feet on the ground. Like you still have so much more to learn. You have to get better. And I'm telling you, when I started MMA, the constantly being hammered in my head is be long, distance, be long, distance. Those words, and it's constantly being reiterated no matter what coach I go with, whoever is holding pads for me, whoever I'm sparring against. Constantly, those are the words that are consistently being said, right? So at that point, it's just my entire environment is shaping me to be that type of fighter. Like I don't have a choice at that point. It's either I fight that way or I get knocked the fuck out. Like I really don't have a choice, and I don't have an issue with being a long fighter, and I'm still learning how to perfect that, right? I know I'm not perfect. I know I'm not the most perfect individual. I'm not the most perfect fighter. And I know I'm still very early in my professional career, but I still have tremendous amounts of confidence in myself. I know what my capabilities are. I know what my abilities are. I know what I can do when I step in the cage. But keeping myself humble in that sense of no, I can do that better. No, I can perform in a better way. Every fight that I've had as a professional so far, I've been happy for about 20, 30 minutes, and then afterwards I criticize myself. And I'm very grateful for that, you know, because I refuse to ride on my highs. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh man, I won those last 3 fights in the first round. I'm the shit. Nobody can beat me. And it's like, okay, yeah, it's good to be that confident, but at the same time, that could easily be a weakness where you just sit there and you believe that you're so great. And reality is, man, you could easily meet somebody who never gave up on getting better, and that's how I am. Is I want to get better. I go to different gyms. I train with different people, and when I lose, I'm like, okay, that's a weakness in my fighting ability. How do I fix this? How do I become better? How do I make sure that I don't get caught like that? Every sparring session I have, and I'm training with with any of my teammates, my mind is consistently thinking about every single movement and every single action that is taking place in front of each other. If I get hit with a hook or I barely just get out of the way of the hook, that I'm not thinking, all right, I did that correct or anything like that. No, the thing that goes through my mind is like, for some reason I take a real quick recap and I make sure I don't make any of those mistakes again. Like real quick. If I even if I just barely missed it, it just barely missed me. In my mind, I'm like, what if he went 10% more? Or what if I didn't react quickly enough? I'm like, okay, this time I make sure that I have more distance between each other so it's not that close. Because this game is really inches. It really is. At the end of the day, this game is just inches. And if I play with the edge for too long, I'm bound to fall. So I got to make sure that if I am going to play that close to the edge, I always make sure that I'll fall off.
Okay, and this game, like you said, it is a game of inches. Um, do you fear losing?
Not really. Not at all. Like when I
Fear
went to,
on when or if it happens.
I think it's bound to happen. I don't if I become unbeatable due to my tenacity and due to the fact that I refuse to just not work, you know, then that's what is written for me. I can't. I can only do what I can do, and if I'm certain that I put 100% and that 110% or 150% on every single day I'm working gives me the result of never losing or never even or yeah, exactly, just not losing, because I might come close. I might inch really close to losing. Everyone has, right? There's been some crazy fights out there and some guys have won just by split decision, but at the same time I think losing is inevitable. Like I think everyone eventually loses, and it might not be in the cage, but you lose somewhere. Something ends up losing. No one is just a winner forever. Conor McGregor, such a beautiful journey, such a beautiful journey to the top. And some of his losses, you can still say they're wins, right? When he fought Floyd Mayweather, that's a win in my book. Man went to boxing, pieced up, exactly, pieced up a world class boxing athlete and came out with $30 million. It's a win. But it comes back to MMA and struggles against Khabib, struggles against Poirier twice, and the third time he fights Poirier, he ends up losing a leg. So it's like eventually everyone ends up losing. And whether it happens early in my career or later in my career, it's if it happens, it happens. And I'm not gonna let that discourage me from ever being who I'm trying to be. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger didn't get first place in his first competitions. It took him a couple third, fourth, second places until he started just destroying the bodybuilding competition. Going Mr. Olympia 10 times in a row. Like, that takes time. That takes dedication. It takes time. And I just posted a video on my Instagram about what my name means essentially, and it's about delaying, it's about being patient, it's about sabr. It's and again, I don't really think a lot about me losing. It's not something I'm constantly like, oh my God, what if I lose? Or oh, I hope I don't lose or anything. I don't really think about losses. I think I've kind of come to terms with the fact that if it happens, and there's a huge possibility it might happen, that's only part of the journey. It's meant to happen. It's part of the where I'm trying to be. And I am gifted with a lot of wonderful attributes, and I'm grateful for all the wonderful coaching staff that I have and all the training partners that I have. But I was never given, you know, the same skill sets as like Khabib or Bo Nickel, right? Bo Nickel was a world class wrestler. Like those are and they worked hard. That's 100% hard work right there. But I wasn't given those skills and abilities, you know. So it's I just have to navigate what I'm given and be able to find the most success with what I'm given.
I like that. I like that a lot. See, he's not just a good-looking guy. He's also got, you know, some smarts, and he kicks ass in a cage. All right. So I was actually watching a promo you cut in the cage. It was just after a win, and they're talking about some RUF officials talking about Loai not being a ticket seller. Now, I don't know which RUF official told you that, my mans, but talk to me about this crowd that's behind you, because they are many.
Yeah. No, man, I was so happy. I sold they gave me like what, 60 tickets? They gave me 60 hard tickets, and I sold that in within a week or two. It was over. I had so many people buy multiple tickets. I had about two or three crowds of people who bought 20 to 30 tickets, 10 tickets out in one purchase, you know. So it was amazing to see how many people actually supported me. And honestly, my favorite thing, man, my favorite thing is the people who send me a text message after one of my fights, who don't even say anything to me, and they say, "Man, I purchased the pay-per-view just to watch you fight." And it's somebody I haven't spoken to in years or months or something like that. And it honestly, man, it makes me so happy to see how many people are willing to support me and willing to see me, you know, go through this journey. And I think about every single one of them. You know, I have a really close friend of mine, you know, real deal friend of mine. His name's Laith. He works he's a doctor in the ER hospitals over in Brooklyn. And I remember one time he sent me a video of the stream while he's at the hospital, you know, taking care of patients and everything like that, making sure the hospital is being run right. And he's still supporting me and having, you know, he's still trying to catch glimpses of me fighting while he's running around, making sure all these people are surviving and living. And he's like he's always, that friend of mine has always been there since day one. When I started my MMA career doing backyard fights over at Rise in Tucson, like at their gym, you know, no sanction, nothing. Like, we're gonna circle your name, we're gonna circle your name. He would always come and watch me fight live there. So it's like having people like that who've been part of my journey since the beginning, and then seeing all these whole new crowds enter in, you know. And I'm accepting of everything, man. And you know, and those who don't really support me but who watch, you know, it is what it is. And I don't, you know, I'm happy for everything, and I'm just glad I can do what I do, and I'm glad I can be an entertainer, whether you're with me or you're not, man. Like I just love to entertain.
Well, entertaining is something that comes very natural to you. I think behind a mic, definitely in your future, once you hang these gloves up. I think in the cage, you're very good, but you're also very personable. You're not a guy that, you know, somebody could approach you and you can have an entire conversation with them. You know what I mean? I think you're that guy. So I think there's a lot of things in life that you could do that you would just excel at right off the bat. You know what I mean?
That's actually something I really do want to get into, is analyzing. I would love to be an analyst after all of my fighting career is over, and I can finally say, you know what, I'm proud of what I've done and what I've accomplished. Let me go and get the mic back. You know, let me go see that, and also probably go into movies if I'm young enough and still good looking. You know, I would love to do. I would love to write. I would love to write a movie. Honestly, one day, I would love to write a movie. Something I kind of actually have an idea of, just like kind of having like a Rocky type movie, but for Arabs, and have it just completely an Arabic type movie with the same idea, but with MMA instead of boxing. And, you know, it'd be something like that. Very similar, like a Creed type style movie and everything like that. But that's something that kind of interests me a lot, honestly. And you know, I recently just finished watching. I think a lot of this inspiration also comes from like I just recently finished watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger documentary, and like just seeing his career, you know, all the way from Austria, starting in Austria, and you know, just traveling to Germany, and then traveling to London, and then traveling to Florida, then traveling to California, and his entire time he had this mindset of just, this is where I'm going to be. Like, I'm going to be great, and that's what I want to do. And he found so much failure at the beginning of everything that he started, but he never gave up, and he found success. He just never gave up, and that was it. Like, he just refused to give up. The first movie Arnold Schwarzenegger ever released was complete ass. It was the worst movie in the world. Terrible rating. But he went and got coaching lessons. He finally learned how to use his emotions, and then he started making amazing movies. Commando, Twins, what is it, Kindergarten Teacher, all those great movies. Yeah, dude, and this is a man who's just been nothing but a bodybuilder at first, going and creating these wonderful movies, and you know, and people remember it, like Terminator, for God's sakes, Terminator, and then him coming back in Terminator 2, being able to completely change his character in the movie from going from a bad guy with zero emotions and just straight body work to a good guy who's there to protect. It's like, it's just phenomenal to see that. And then at the end, he becomes a governor of a whole state, which I'm not into politics or anything like that, but I just mean in general, it's just like, that's incredible. Like man went from bodybuilding to a movie actor to becoming a governor of a whole state.
It's pretty.
It's inspiring. It's inspiring. It just really shows that we really don't have limits as humans. You know, like our limits and our bounds are essentially what we put up, and we can really go against those extremes if we really want to. If we really put our mind to it and we envision it and we truly believe in ourselves, man, we can do some insane, incredible things. And sure, they might be risky and they might be scary as hell, you know, but those you have to do those things sometimes in order to grow and to just be able to accomplish things that you never think you'd accomplish.
I don't necessarily I don't put much limitation on myself aside from like, you know, anything physical. But if I want to do it, like fighting was just something I wanted to do. So I did it. I didn't have a traditional martial arts background. I just said, I could do that. I was lying to myself and I did it anyway. But like, you know, like I was telling you about the wrestling thing, that's not my world. But my buddy said he needed some help. And one thing I like doing is helping people, you know, connect, you know, network, build whatever they got going on. If I could help them facilitate some of that stuff, it makes me feel good that I'm helping somebody who needs something. Yeah. So it's actually probably one of the things I'm going to do when I retire, you know, from a regular 9 to 5, you know, but start my own like production company or like what's it called? Like an event coordinator or something, you know, just because I guess I really like that shit. I like making calls and securing venues and getting all that shit done. So, but yeah, as far as, you know, putting the limitations on your stuff, man, like you nailed that on the head.
Yeah. And you should, dude. Like, you really should just go out there and be a little risky. You know, it's you're still smart because, you know, you're staying in things that you believe that you can do, right? Like, don't go out there and try to do something that you really don't have any belief in yourself. Even if it's just 10% belief, at least have some belief that you can do it, right? At least believe in it, and it makes you happy. So why not? Why not try and do something and see if you can find success in it?
Well, I like I said, I give it everything I got. You know what I mean? With everything that I do, without sounding gross with it, but yeah. You know what I mean? And I take a lot of inspirations from fighters because you guys, like, not only are you like trying to carve yourself through this, MMA spectrum, but you're also like, some of you guys have regular 9 to 5s. Some of you guys, are, helping out with family. So you guys also have a lot of shit going on. And this is something that just takes so much focus and so much work to do, yet you guys are still able to do all the shit you guys do outside of the cage. It's amazing.
Yeah. And that's essentially it, man, is like, but everything that we do outside of fighting is just so that we can supplement fighting, right? Like I'm trying to get to that point where fighting is what all I need to do in order to make money. Like maybe I'll invest my money here and there. Well, not maybe, most definitely I'll invest my money. That's it. I didn't go to business school not to invest my money.
Right.
But as soon as I can get to that point in my life where, the gym and training is 100% all I want to do and I can do, and I don't have to worry about doing some secondary job in order to make money. It's going to be a wonderful time for me, and I can feel that time coming to a very is nearing. Like as I'm consistently working and I'm putting all this effort and I'm having to do a 9 to 5 and everything like that, I can feel that sense of not so much freedom, I would say, because you're still putting in tremendous amounts of work, but being able to just sacrifice the rest of the world and put it all into the one thing that you love, right? And there's even there's actually, it's funny because there's this beautiful quote at Element Jiu-Jitsu that I read every single day, and it's such a wonderful quote. I can't remember it verbatim, but essentially the idea of it is, um, if you don't sacrifice everything else for the thing that you love, then you'll end up sacrificing the thing that you love.
Ooh.
You know, and that's really the reality is like, when I first moved up here, man, I was taking just a bunch of shit jobs just so I can pay my rent and so I could go to the gym. Like that was it. Like I didn't really care what the job was. I didn't care what if it was supplementing my resume or if it had anything to do with my degree. It was simply just so I can find the right time so that I can make just enough money to pay for all my needs, and then everything else was into fighting. And that's why I've found so much success in my professional career this early on with little to no adversity, I would say, within these last 3 fights. No disrespect to any of my opponents, but you know, being able to finish all 3 of them in the very first round is due to the fact of how much effort and training and willingness I have put into fighting. Just going in there calm, confident, knowing what I'm capable of and what outcomes I expect of myself every single time is due to the amount of failures and pain that I've gone through just to get there.
That's why one of the things for me is if I ever would make it back to the cage, that would be like the goal, right? Is just getting in the cage, because that would be the goal. Not focusing on the win, not focusing on the loss, but just getting to the third fight. That would be the goal, because fuck everything else. You know what I mean? So much shit can happen between now and then. You know what I mean? And then I wanted to touch on one thing, because you were kind of going on about your career and your trajectory and the hard work that you've put in. But I want to point something else out to you that I don't know if you're noticing it about yourself or not. How well you've met Marcus, right? The Maniac?
McGee?
Yeah.
I've never met him formally, but I know of him.
Okay. So you can't speak to the first hand, like, shaking his hand and having a small conversation with him. So I can tell you from my perspective, right? My perspective was the minute I met this dude, I knew that his personality had electricity. It was active. It was like a force, right? And I knew that he was going to do something with fighting, because I saw the way that he trained. I saw the way that he carried himself. I saw the way that he fought. He put everything into it. I felt the same thing when I shook your hand. So I think you just continue the shit that you're doing. I'm pretty sure I know this. Well, how do you say you're pretty sure, but you don't think? Anyway, you continue the things that you're doing. And I feel regardless if you win this fight or not on August 26th, I think you're still destined for greatness in this sport. I think you have that electricity that I was talking about. When I first met you, there's just a feeling. You feel it. You know what I mean? And it could be, you guys are just that caliber of individual, not necessarily like of a fighter, because you guys are both ridiculous. But it's also the shit you do outside the cage. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you present yourself. When you see somebody walking down the street, can you say, I can picture that guy on my fucking poster? You know what I mean? Because I'm sure, yes, most fighters, they don't look like you. They're a lot ugly. They essentially look like me in all shades, right? So
You're a very good looking dude yourself.
well, I still got my hair, so
I'm like anything of spectacular of sorts in terms of the model face region. I think I'm just a normal looking Arab guy. I think that's a lot of Arab men are a lot better looking than I am.
Well, I can promise you that I am just an average looking white dude, because we all look the same. We all have beards, and we all wear a hat. You know what I mean? It's just kind of our thing.
Very true. I do struggle at times telling the difference from white people if I don't know you for a very long time. It's very, I don't know what it is, but I've lived in America my entire life, and for some reason I'm like, wait, are those not the same dudes?
Yeah, there's one of my texts. His name is Chad. He's got a beard, and he wears a hat. His brother, his name is Cody. He's got a beard and wears a hat. So we all look like brothers, essentially. It's a thing. It's a thing. But anyways, like going back to my original point is, I think you have that thing, that it factor, that electricity, that the bigger promotions, once they see you and you have that record that they're looking for, because you have everything else. You've got the finishes, you've got the buzz, you've got all that. I just don't think that, yes, they've signed guys with less records, right? But you're looking to be 4-0 come August 26th. I don't think it's much longer after that. You keep doing what you're doing, rinse, wash, repeat, you're going to get there faster than probably anybody thought. Because just like Marcus, you have that thing, that electricity, that it's something different from any other most people that you meet. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing to explain. That's why I can only reference like electricity or like a force. It's weird, but you got it.
I understand what you mean, and I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, honestly, like you just said, man, I already have my couple years projected and planned out, even to like a month-on-month basis past this fight, of what I expect from myself, where I should be, and what I should be doing in that moment. There's not a doubt in my mind that I'm going to win this fight. Like, that is guaranteed. I'm going in there with the mindset that I'm going to win. Whether it be a quick knockout or a grueling 15 minutes of fighting each other, I'm going to end up on top. That's the point of this sport. That's the point of fighting. That's the point of why I'm doing this. To see if I'm good enough, and to always make sure that I beat my competition. It's not just about winning, it's about beating them. It's about going in there with perseverance and a willingness of aggression and self-confidence, and knowing what you're capable of, and then executing all of that.
Well, that leads me to my next question. Do you have a prediction other than the W?
No, it won't go past the second.
Okay.
I feel as if the first round he's going to be very aggressive. He's going to come after me. He's going to fight, and 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 then eventually I'll catch on. And I'll find it.
I like it, and I like the stoicism behind it, man. I'm telling you, you fucking got it, my man. And then you said you've got your life planned out for the next couple of years, like on a month-to-month basis. So can you tell me on August 26th, after Dave Velvet announces you the winner and the official raises your arm, how you're going to celebrate with your post-fight victory meal? Can you?
Oh snap! I should have done some research with this one so I can make sure I got the ingredients right.
You
But
mom might come after me again.
my mom is gonna come and beat my ass again for getting the ingredients wrong. She always does. She goes, "What are you talking about? That's not how you make it." I'm just like, "It's good enough. It's good enough." Let's see for this next one. Let's go. I don't think I've talked about this one. No, yeah, because I haven't talked about this one. This one is called msechem. Again, Palestinian dish. You know how you know your boy loves Palestinian food. Palestinian, and I'm never gonna stop saying that. I got a Palestinian flag right there. The T-shirt right behind me says Palestine, which is Palestine in Arabic. Yeah, we're gonna go with some Palestinian food. It's called msechem. It's chicken. It's just chicken, some pine nuts, some chopped up onions, and then like some purple spice. No idea what it is, but it's just a big piece of bread, and then you just cook all of that on top with each other. It's the way they cook it, man, is crazy. And you're supposed to cook it the traditional way is like with rocks. Like you're supposed to keep eating up rocks. Like that's the traditional way. My mom does this little special rendition where she puts all the ingredients. So instead of like actual whole chicken with the bone and everything, she'll cook all the chicken and everything and then shred it all off and then instead of just having the chicken and the onions and the spices laying on top with the pine nuts, what she actually does is she makes a little mix like with all the ingredients and then puts it into the same type of bread almost, but makes it into a burrito. So it's like easier to eat. Yeah, dude, it's straight fire, dude. I'm telling you, straight gas. Like that's what when I tell people that my mom knows how to cook, I don't mean like my mom just sits there and makes food of tradition. No, my mom is like her own chef. Like she thinks of like the way that I think about fighting. It's the same brain. The way that I think about fighting of just being able to change things and figuring things out and putting things together is the same way my mom can think about when it comes to cooking. Like that, I'm telling you, that woman is a wizard when it comes to cooking. If I become rich enough, there's no doubt that my mom is releasing at least a cooking book. Like I'm definitely gonna have that happen. Like there's no doubt.
I need one for sure.
Like at the very least, like she's got to have her own show of just cooking, man. It's insane how good she is at cooking. Like I tasted the exact same Arabic food from other Arab families, Arab mothers, years and years of passing these recipes down, and they just don't hit the same, man. They just don't hit the same.
I think that's why a lot of guys struggle with their wife's cooking because their mom's is usually better. You know what I mean? So it sounds like you're going to run into that problem as well. But I kind of lucked out. My wife is a way better cook than my mom. She cooks stuff outside of a box. You know what I mean? So it's good. You know what I mean? We didn't grow up with a lot of money, so we ate a lot of Hamburger Helper. So that's no knock on my mom, but my wife definitely. That's why I gotten so plump, man. Come on now.
She throws it down, huh?
She throws it down. Bro.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. All right. I'm super, super delighted I get to call another one of your fights. I don't take that shit lightly. I'm very honored to be part of your career. It's super cool to be in on such early stages. You know what I mean? And just the way your coaches talk about you, you know what I mean? And it's different from when I interview you, like it's when I interview your opponent. He's from out of town, out of state, I don't know him or his coaches like I know you and I know your coaches. So I feel that sometimes that does give me like a little bit of bias or like gives our interview a little bit different of a wrinkle. But I mean, if I knew him and his coaches, it would be, different. You know what I mean? But I know you, I know your coaches, super stoked. And you're a savage. I mean, seeing you do your work is what everybody is coming out to see, my man.
Yeah, no, I'm hope I get another big crowd. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna sell some tickets. Try to get more people out this time, more than last time, man. Yeah, I love the entertaining factor. I love it all, man.
All right, and if we throw another show on down here for the wrestling, I'll get you in the cage or the ring or whatever they call it.
Yeah. I'm trying to go on my Logan Paul career. He over here. He's in the WWE, isn't he, right now?
I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he is, man, and he's making some good money out there. Good for him.
Well, we'll create a new branch for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll be like The Rock.
Just not The Rock.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not him.
just not. Anyways, before I get you out of here, man, of course, I want to give you as much time to do, your shout outs, sponsors, coaches, training partners, family, friends, whatever, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, just again, shout out to my Fight Ready family. Shout out to Element. Shout out to all my coaches, Santino, Eddie Cha, Frankie, Chad EK, every other coach that's been there for me, helping me grow from even the beginning. Shout out to all my teammates as well. I don't want to sit here naming all of them because I don't want to miss any of them. And yeah, shout out to my sponsors as well, ETJ, Dolce Bravos, Pleasant Pools, and FXR Division.
Right on. Yeah, you have a big team, and then you added the jiu-jitsu school, so it just got even bigger. So I
Yeah,
appreciate you, saving the video from like a wall of names. They know who they are. They get it. You know what I mean? They all get it. So again, that's August 26th over at my favorite place to call fights, which is the Celebrity Theater in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Can't wait to see the crew, and I cannot wait to see you. All right.
inshallah. Inshallah. The Bulls out, baby. The Bulls coming out.
All right. Before I get you out of there, is there anything you'd like to get out into the universe?
Um, you know what? Alhamdulillah for everything. Biggest thing is none of this would have happened without God. Always, I've become more religious throughout the years with this MMA career, and truthfully, man, at the end of the day, none of this would have happened without him. Just being able to be where I am, grateful for everything he's given me, all the struggles he's given me, all the things that I had to navigate through. I'm absolutely grateful, and above all else, man, just alhamdulillah, thank God for him. And also, being Palestinian, I love that. I love that, and the Palestinians, they know, inshallah, one day I'll be able to raise the flag on a larger stage, inshallah.
It's gonna happen, my man. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You just keep your nose to the grindstone, and you will get there.
For sure.
Until next time.
Till next time.